Alrighty, everything does look like it is up and running. Welcome everyone, I'm Dollar Free. Now, just very quickly need to sort one last thing. Sorry, give me a second. There we are. Alright, welcome everyone to this slightly unusual Monday mix. Yeah, first time that I've attempted to take on a multiplayer-oriented game as a solo experience. And I mean, given the title, Chained Together, it would seem unusual that this is meant to work as a solo, but at least according to everything that is said on Steam, this is supposed to be something that can be played as solo. Mind you, all the images, all the videos, everything else, all the reviews, they talk about it as a cooperative experience, or if you've ever heard the old perfect dark term, counter-cooperative. Fun times. But interesting. So, this is why all the artwork has displayed this as multiplayer oriented. If training mode is solo, yeah. Beginner mode, let's see what we have. I'm not sure how I'll feel about this one. I'm not sure. If training mode is solo, wonder then how much do you actually lose from this? Being a multiplayer oriented experience. So let's just have a look anyway. So we have three modes. We've got beginner, option to teleport to the highest point you reach before falling. Your rank in the leaderboard will be disabled. In normal mode, you must reach the top of the map. If you miss a platform, you will fall and have to start all over. Final time will be added to the leaderboard. In the lava mode, you will need to quickly climb through obstacles and platforms to escape the relentless rise of the lava. There is no save in this mode. Oh, interesting. So, beginner and normal mode seem to indicate that there is a top of each level. And it's just a matter of whether you want to really practice on beginner or have a crack at it at normal. And, aim for a time. Lava mode, for some reason, seems to indicate that there is either an end point, but then if you fall into the lava, obviously that's it, game over. Or theoretically, it's like an endless mode, but I don't know. Now, let's just see how this goes otherwise. Well, I just want to get a feel for things. The only thing I've done in this game so far is rebind controls. So we have a couple of characters. And I see the name defaults to maybe the Steam player name. I don't think character matters so much. So we'll just start off with default. We'll call him default Dan. Or default Dollar Free. Yeah, you can see I've rebound the controls. This game's normally based on mouse and keyboard.
Oh, poor lost souls. Do you want to escape the flames of hell? Unfortunately, for I was growing bored, I've concocted a little game. If you're brave, you may try to reach paradise. Not sure if you're capable, though. I eagerly await your falls at the very first hurdles.
Okay. So, first little thing. I'm so used to like FromSoft games where you have a big obvious switch that you stand on. But in this case, standing on the platform was enough to make it go up. Now it looks like I automatically climb objects in this game, which is nice. So far it's pretty... Ooh, interesting. It was pretty straightforward. But jumping has momentum, and momentum is not necessarily tied to your camera angle. So you can jump one way and then face another, but you still move in the direction that you jump. So you have to make sure that you orient your body in the correct direction. So far, though, the controls feel kind of snappy. They're really responsive. Now, let's see. Yeah, and you automatically climb and grab onto ledges and other objects.
Hey, you don't actually think you stand a chance of escaping from here? I bet 10 souls you'll fall long before you catch even a glimpse of sunlight.
Don't worry.
Stop this pointless chatter. You're supposed to be setting up the next challenge, as I command.
Of course, my lord. My apologies. Their despair is just too entertaining. Back to work I go. Immediately.
Yeah. Oop. Alright, so I know this game's based on those sorts of games that came up from that one game. I think it was like Only Up or something like that. And it was meant to be like this game where you literally just climb up to the top. And it was built around NFTs. Hello to me. Hello. Ooh, lasers? How you doing today? Yeah. I am playing that one game which is marketed as a multiplayer game, as a solo experience. Because it's supposed to be solo, but, you know, it's whether it holds up as a solo experience or not. But, otherwise, how you doing today? Oop. Trampolines. But just decided to just not go to school. Yeah, no, fair enough, fair enough. I'm sure we've all had those days. I definitely had a day or two where I was just like, yeah, I don't really feel like going to school today. But understandable. Otherwise, I'm doing all right. Had a bit of running around today, but I'm not sure where exactly I'm going in this, but ooh, I'll take that. Yeah, otherwise I'm doing all right. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen you around on like the Monday mix, but this is usually just me playing some random game for like 2 hours and trying to see if I can either beat it or make some decent progress. Interestingly enough, I like the theming of this game. It's been pretty consistent so far in how it works. Alright.
Well done. You've climbed a ladder.
And the
Feeling
narrative
proud,
choice
or-
is quite interesting. I like the fact that
Climb.
so far there's been,
Don't get too carried away.
yeah, 2 p.m. Fair enough.
This ladder leads only to a level you will fail. But indulge in your false beliefs. I relish giving false hope.
I'm not too sure about some of the other... Oop. Ah, okay, the spikes do come through the, do come through there. Yeah, I'm not sure about some of the other games in this sort of style of, I don't know, whatever you would call this genre. But... interesting. I like the fact that it's all consistent so far. I know nothing about the game except for the fact that we're supposed to be climbing out of hell. And we're some sort of lost soul or damned soul. But we do have... there have been 2 characters introduced so far, one of which is the voice that we hear. And then the other is... like a devil or some sort. Now, I imagine this game would be a heck of a lot harder with 2 people. Yeah, it's kind of like a platformer. Now, this mode here is... it's funny, if you look up the Steam reviews for this... or not the Steam reviews, the Steam descriptions for this game's marketed as a both multiplayer and solo experience. But the solo mode is kind of like training mode. Yeah, so I just fell there. And I'm all the way back to the start. Yeah, that's what happens when you fall. Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly you would call this type of platformer, but it's clearly built around, hey, if you can climb up this thing as fast as possible, and they're like tiny little, sometimes really tricky to navigate obstacles. yeah, I'd imagine that a lot of the challenge in this game would be about the fact that when you play it multiplayer, you have two people trying to leap towards objects at the same time, and if both players have collision, then that interferes with each other's space and everything else like that. I have to admit, this would be quite an interesting game to see being speedrun. If there's like a group of people who will speedrun this game and go, oh yeah, the four of us will go in. Yeah, no, fair enough. I have to admit, after we were talking last week, I was on a little bit of a binge actually to try and remember. We were talking about like some of the varying older styles of rock music or stuff like that. You know, Black Sabbath and everyone who derives from them. And then led me down a little bit of a rabbit hole of trying to find people who have covered, you know, like Black Sabbath or Ozzy Osbourne's. What was Ozzy Osbourne's group again? I cannot remember if that's also Black Sabbath. The names are eluding me. But it led me down to like this chain of, I've found 2 songs so far where people you wouldn't expect have actually covered like those old, I guess, classic sort of rock style albums. Whoop. Made it. Yeah, I could imagine something like that where if you were strapped together with someone, the chain would be far worse because one of you gets pushed away and then that's it. Yeah, Black Sabbath, and then again. So that's right. The one I was thinking about. So the first one, oh yeah, I remembered. And I talked about it before with like, when we were talking about local radio and having people on board. So I talked before about the Australian radio station Triple J. And Triple J, I remember they brought on Denzel Curry, the rapper. And Denzel Curry did a performance of Rage Against the Machines. What was it? Bulls on Parade, that's right. Yeah, so it was Denzel Curry covering Rage Against the Machine's Bulls on Parade. And then the other one that I saw recently was, of all the things, the rapper T-Pain covered War Pigs. And both of them are super interesting. So I'm trying to find more stuff like that, where people are actually covering things like the Metallica, the Black Sabbath, you kind of get where I'm going with that. I basically just looking for more sort of exposure. But it's also interesting when you hear someone cover someone else's song, because if they're really good, they'll put their own twist on it in like a unique way. Even if the lyrics don't change, they'll have their own style of singing. Mind you, I'm just looking at the distance. What the heck is that thing over there? What is absolutely that? Like, it looks like it's in Sound of Black Sabbath, stoner metal, doom metal, psych metal. Yeah, like, as someone who's got a deep interest in learning about different music, I think it's always fascinating to learn about different styles of music, because different styles of music will bring so much to everything else. I've fallen again at the same spot. I struggle with that one barrel. Thankfully this is... Oh, interesting. I can't climb up there. Thankfully it's a pretty short climb, all things considered. I'm always down for suggestions. But I think there's a lot that we learn. Like, and part of this is kind of driven by, admittedly, and I know you're not a fan of Sleep Token, but just listening to when the drummer of Sleep Token, did an interview on Drumeo, which is like it's a drummer focused channel which does like tutorials and stuff like that. And it's like, oh yeah, no, I've got like background with rock music, EDM, learned a bunch of stuff from gospel music, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Definitely could tell that like when you stop and listen to someone explain about where they've learned music from, it's fascinating. Yeah. And that's what I think it is. It's like, and every band in its own way does that. We learn, like every band learns from each other and then brings their own influence into it. Like, just as I'm sure Black Sabbath has influenced so many artists, I'm sure that they themselves have their own influences, if not in particular styles and bands, but like even particular riffs or chords or drum fills or stuff like that. Oop, little too early. Interesting. Oh, okay. Hey, cool. That's kind of neat. We can land up here. All right. You know what I'm going to do? If I'm sort of out of bounds, I'm going to see how far I can go with this. Invisible walls. Why do they do this? You present something so big up there. Imagine. Actually, you know what? Influenced by the Beatles and blues and funk artists. You can hear that on the debut album. Yeah, I would... Actually, that's kind of interesting. I wouldn't mind then, on my own time, sort of boring... Like, having a listen through sort of like the original... Like, their debut album. And then listening to some of the Beatles stuff that maybe let's just say it came out like a couple of years beforehand. And just seeing where the sort of pickups are. I'm just looking at this. I know, like, stone metal, doom metal, that they love... There's been this love... Traditional love of using, like... I don't necessarily want to say demonic artwork, but maybe more so devilish artwork. The problem is, here in this game, they're teasing me. Look at this. That's such a sick kind of thing. Just imagine there's like, yeah, the mountaintop, and then there's like a skeleton with its tongue hanging out, just staring at you. Or just looking around, lava lakes and all the rest of that. And then the thing that stops me as a player from getting there is a bloody invisible wall. Let's see how far I can actually go. Proto metal music debut track. Very burst metal and doom metal song. Couldn't go any further along that wall. Although, right, just notice the lighting effect on this is super aggressive. Like, it is... I don't know if that's meant to be light or heat. Either way. See, why can they go out of bounds and I can't? That's a shame. It's interesting though, from a game perspective. Yeah, it could. It seriously could. What's interesting when you stop and think about this from a game perspective, because of the presence of invisible walls on the outsides of those fences, it means probably that the invisible walls themselves may go all the way up to the top of the skybox. And if that's the case, then the entire, I guess, running area that you're in has to be very constrained, fit all the way up through the top of that hitbox, as to stop you from, say, I don't know, getting up to even where that chain is and trying to jump over the spiked fence and out of bounds. I just wish the walls weren't so aggressively invisible. I do miss the ability to, like... Because, okay, if I jump, after a certain point, momentum just stops going forward and you kind of just fall flat. Like how gravity would work. I wish they just didn't quite have such aggressive invisible walls. But even if I did try to go out of bounds. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Fair enough. It's the original sound that makes a band unique. I can understand why a lot of people will want to try and do that and explore. I said before, and I'll say it again, I'm a huge fan of when a band decides to try and do experimental things. Like, absolutely change up how they do sounds. Ooh, 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 ooh. Interesting. Up, up. Again. Like, anytime a band just wants to do something absolutely experimental, I'm all down for it. If they do it once and they're like, yeah, we did it to have fun, even if it's something completely wild as a genre that you would never expect from them, it shows, I think, a willingness from the band to take a risk and present something different in their own way. Like, I'm just trying to imagine what would happen if, like, Rage Against the Machine put out, like, a album of, like, Christmas covers. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, like, I'm just trying to imagine. Actually, no, that would be funny. Like, yeah, Rage Against the Machine or Metallica or something else. And it's like, what are you putting out this time? Yeah, it's all Christmas album covers. It's still a distinct sound, but it's just Christmas lyrics. And then the last track's like Jingle Bells played completely straight. Like, none of the unusual sound. It's all the instrumentation is straight Jingle Bells. Just with the guitars and everything else that they do. I don't know, I would laugh at that. But that's just me. I know a lot of other people would probably go, guys, are we like getting pranked here? This is not April Fool's. Okay. So a little thing, they give you a sprint button in this. I'm not sure how much you will be sprinting unless you're like really, really good at this. I can sprint there. Oh, come on. I keep doing that every single time. Hit that same... Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. Hit that same windmill several times now in a row. There's probably like a timing element to it, just where it's like, you know, if you run and jump at a certain... If you run into the trampoline at a certain point, you will. Okay. So this is the fun part. Trying to run along these chains, you really have to be aggressive with the mouse movement. Yeah, you really have to be aggressive with the mouse movement if you're running along angles. Ooh, ooh, made it. Made it. We run through here. The ladder. Onto the bones. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, I could imagine sprinting along this, but maybe not so much if you're chained up with someone. Alright. Back up to where I was. Almost the furthest that I've gotten. But the barrels are the hard part. Just tiny little platforms. I don't know if it's better to... feel like maybe it's better to aim short for the barrels. And then just climb up them. But I don't know if that would even work if you've got 2 people on. Unless the 2 people who are together don't actually take up the same space. If they don't take up the same space, then I could see how these little platforms will work in the context of multiple people climbing on them. Yeah, so if you can all stand on the same spot, then that's how you actually get up. Hello, Martin. Hello. How you doing today? Oh. As you can probably tell, I've been at this for... well, the timer's up there on the top. 23 minutes. And I keep falling at one specific point, or 2 specific points, depending on which way you look at things. Otherwise, how you doing? Oh. Yeah, so this is multiplayer, but it advertises itself as a solo experience. And so when you stop and think about it, there are probably a bunch of mechanics in place to allow for multiplayer. I think that's a bit better, actually. Which way do we go? Looks like... do I climb up here? Maybe actually I climb up on the barrels. No, actually there's a ladder right here. What am I doing? Yeah, so this game advertises itself definitely as a multiplayer game. But it offers what is supposedly called solo mode, which is... they advertise it as training mode. And it makes me think about how the mechanics of a training mode would exist. Ooh. In the... yeah, how a training mode would exist within the context of a... yeah, fair enough. Ooh, hold on. Press jump and hold jump and cling onto hooks. Okay. And I'm just holding. Hey, welcome back to me. Yeah, it reminds you of only up at a volcano happened. And there is that mode in this game. There's a... like the difficulty above this is lava mode, where there is lava coming up. I'm pretty sure only up. I remember it's... hold on. I gotta see where exactly I'm going in this. Only Up is a game that... I'm sorry, why is there a vehicle here? Yeah, when I fall down. The car race. Yeah.
Here I am again. Oh, seeing your
Only Up
progress is
got
somewhat,
pulled from the market because it was like...
chaotic.
I don't know if it got too much attention and the author didn't really want it to blow up as much as it did. The one that I remember you pointed me to before is kind of like this off-brand knockoff.
Oh, but don't get your hopes up.
And I don't really trust it.
So enjoy it while you can.
E to use. Well, it's not E in my case. It's O to use. Oh, hold on. Oh, this controls a bit funky. Although sprinting doesn't seem to matter in the context. So there's an actual car race in this. Ooh, okay. And then when you go off the... oh, you can actually almost go off. Oh, now I see why it is. It's front-wheel drive. But it's very aggressively front-wheel drive. So your movement's entirely controlled by... Yeah, your movement's entirely controlled on the front two wheels. That's why it feels a bit funny. Right. What is... Oh, no. It's the bloody Mario Galaxy Cube, ain't it? That's fine. It's fine. Fell down to the bottom of the car race. Yeah. Oh, this is quite interesting. I don't recall any other sort of platformer, I don't know what genre kind of platformer you would call this, that actually uses vehicles as aggressively as this one does. Ooh, ooh. I think, hold on. Remember my controls. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, trust me. I'm gonna have to try and spin around here at some point in this tiny little area. Maybe have to do it down here or something. Alright, almost got it. Almost got it. Yeah, when you're talking about experimental sounds, people thought Black Sabbath were kind of messing with them. Oh, okay, cool. You can get out of the car and actually push the car. If I stand about here, the car should naturally tilt. And then we're back on track. Oh my goodness, this car is like wild. Yeah, I could see why. Especially when people are used to a particular sound and then it's like, why are we getting something so wildly different here? And then yeah, people will go, are you actually just messing with us? Alright, back to the Mario Galaxy. Well, the Mario... Yeah, actually, Mario Sunshine Cube was probably more accurate. Oh, I hate these things so much. 3, 4. And then... Jump. 2, 3. Jump. Ah. Thankfully, it looks like if you fall down from the Mario Galaxy Cube, you end up back at the start of the car race. So it's a natural soft point. A soft reset point. It's exploring more of a blues and classic. Why does this one control? There we go. Blues and more sort of acid jazz sound on those albums. That's the... Ooh, I've got to turn the camera. Yeah, I think that's always something to go about. Ooh. Alright, now I'm getting the hang of controlling this. Unfortunately, controlling a real car is nothing quite like controlling a car with just a keyboard. You don't really have the same sense... Oh, goodness me. Do I make it? Do I make it? Do I make it? Do I make it? Do I make it on something? Alright. Well, that's what happens when you get pushed off the racetrack. Honestly though, I would love to hear some more jazz and modern day music. I feel like we don't really have enough jazz. Okay, ooh, I got lucky there. Like jazz, actual rhythm and blues and not like R&B as it is now. I mean, the closest I can find these days, which is readily available, is stuff like electro swing is somewhat easy for me to find, but it's Because usually when you go looking for electro swing, it's like right up in your face. Here is electro swing. Let me try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. Yeah, I'm probably starting to see as you climb up through these levels, particularly if you're more into like a speed running category, if every person takes up their own sort of unique space, then it makes sense that everyone would want to be practicing on their own first before jumping in together. And then you practice together in order to try and get your timings right. But if people don't take up the same space physically, then yeah, this is how these little platforms will work, and things like the car race and stuff like that. Alright. And then, if I remember correctly, you jump and hold, and we hold on to this, and I have to keep holding until I get up to the top where the car race is. Although I see by the really basic graphics spinning on the background, there's definitely more rotating platforms to have to deal with. I'm not sure. The last message that I got from you, Martin, was asking about if I will play only up. That was the last one. And at that one I said, based on the version that is on Steam, that one is a no, because it's not the only up that was the original one. Yeah, but if you type something in otherwise, maybe the message, depending on what words you may have used, might have gotten picked up by either YouTube's autofilter or something like that. It's usually one of the go-to points. Oh, okay. Think I can salvage this. There we go. Yeah, there are like, with YouTube and Twitch, there are like obviously auto word filters and stuff like that, and maybe it's had a bit of a hiccup depending on what you were typing. Not sure. I mean, you can try typing it again, and if it does the same thing again, then it might be related to something based on one of the like the predefined word filters or something else, or it could just be YouTube. All right, Mario Galaxy Cube rotates around again. And then jump. Jump. Ooh, close. Jump. Jump. Up. Hold on. Back on the 4. Yeah. So I've made the move to go back to 3 days a week, just so I have additional time to record footage for other things or work on other parts of this channel. Again, ooh, hold on. That is, this car has no sense of, I'm gonna get out. Yeah, this car has no sense of the ability to turn. Actually, it's got no sense of proper momentum. Yeah, also, I found that Tuesday was a time slot where it's like, I'm probably better off served by keeping it for other things. Like, Monday is pretty interesting, and then Friday and Saturday are good times for me to stream. If you've got a game suggestion, I'd probably suggest in this case putting it into like a comment, maybe on the community post, just because while I can read chat, I'm not exactly going to remember everything I talk about, because this game's actually taking a little bit of attention out of me, like a fair bit. It's like the Mario 60, like the Mario Galaxy Cube up here or the Mario Sunshine Cube up here is really getting to me. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Ooh, okay, hold on. Every time you slip and fall off, you lose your momentum. 5. Go. Okay, good, we're fine. We're fine. Alright, now I see what the challenge is up here. Oh, okay, so the spikes come out if you... Oh, that's a bit of an unusual loop. Okay, so the spikes come out if you hit the laser. Okay, jump. Very aggressive jump, and then we're probably going to have to jump over another laser coming up here. Jump. And I can jump up here for safety. Go. Getting over it, I think... I know I've seen that one around the place. That one's the one where you have to use the, playing as a guy in a pot. And then you're basically controlling things. That one, I feel, is like a platformer in the same way that Quap is a game about athleticism. I know that getting over it is deliberately designed to frustrate people. We're up here. So now I see the gimmick of this one. 2. Oh, here we go. This is going to be a long fall. This is going to be a very long fall indeed. Kind of near back to the start, actually. Yeah, I remember seeing getting over it around the place. And then the author is like, oh, the game developer is just kind of like there talking to you and being like, oh yeah, you kind of fell down here and you did that one thing, but cheer up. That was very intentional on my part. And I know this game's meant to frustrate you, but hey, you're still here. What's it teaching you about life? I was hoping to hit the spinning rocks, but alas, couldn't get everything. Yeah. I mean, like, the original sort of deliberately frustrating game mechanic game was Quap. It was like this old Flash game. And you were supposed to be playing as like, oh, you are an athlete for your country and you're entering in this race. And your goal is just to run across the line. But, like, it was literally like your feet and your knees were controlled with Q, W, O, and P on the keyboard. And you have to try and move them around in such a way that you can actually move forward. It was it was a very long and frustrating experience when you first played Quap. Probably because, I don't know. But that's entirely fine. If someone wants to remain quiet in chat at the time, or if they want to just watch along or something like that, no, that's alright. That's up to them. Okay, jump. Jump. Alright. Managed to salvage that. Actually, that's interesting. If you jump on the spike, you can make that. So there's enough things to actually grab on. I'm surprised that there are things which you do have physics for. Yeah, like, you can... Oh, hold on. That's actually interesting. We'll just take the ladder. I thought it might be possible to jump and climb onto the ladder partway through. That would have been an interesting mechanic, but it doesn't look like it. It looked like every time I grabbed the ladder, it was just... It looked like every time I was grabbing the ladder, it would just kind of, come on. With this fall, we're going all the way back to the start again. Well, that's rough. Yeah, I can see why they have easy mode in here. As like, especially if you are just practicing. At the very least, if I was doing that, I know where I'd be able to get back up to. But now I'm all the way back at the start. Well, might as well enjoy the crazy skull chained up over there. Makes you wonder if this is supposed to be hell. What exactly are the giant things that are all chained up? Yeah, the way the game handles moving objects at a distance, that's pretty normal. You really just slow down the animation because it's got to be there so you can actually look up and see where you are, but people don't need it at full... People don't really need it at, like, full fidelity. Not when you're too far away. Alright. Yeah, it looks like the easiest way to get up, you can either run and climb on the barrels, or you can just start running from the chain. Yeah, no, fair enough. Internet's bombed out. Oh, I gotta love it when the internet does that. Although the one that I'm not a huge fan of, and it's happened sometimes, is like when it looks like OBS cuts out for like 1 or 2 frames, and then I get the message saying OBS has disconnected. Oh, okay. Again, I hit the trampoline. Made it. I hit the trampoline and it was like, oh goodness. But yeah, if OBS cuts out for like a second, it disconnects and then reconnects, and then it's like the stream looks like it gets jittery for some reason. Oh, that's the worst. Wolves, not really a strong opinion one way or the other. Dogs, I am definitely a dog person. Cats, not so much. Ooh. Although for me, it's like, if I'm gonna get a... Oh, no. Good, made it. Yeah. Oh, no, don't do that, don't do that. If I'm getting an animal that's really wanting attention, it's a dog. If I want an animal that doesn't want as much attention, it's going to be a bird. Husky dogs. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I know you've asked that one before, but I'm pretty sure I gave the same answer as well last time. Definitely more of a dog person than I am a cat person. Although I think the funniest ones that I've seen, there's a type of cat which is, I think it's just called a floppy cat. And it's literally like, if you pet the cat, it flops. Oh, come on. That's the second time I've done that. Thankfully, I haven't hit too far down. Yeah, floppy cats are hilarious. I think they're like a slightly bigger breed of cat. They're a bit more fluffy. But the thing with them is like, if you pet them, they just kind of flop wherever they are. And it's hilarious because it's like, oh yeah, the cat's on your lap. And then you pet it and then it just flops. And you're like, well, now I've got this 4-5 kilo chonker on my lap just going, yeah, no, you're gonna keep at it. Keep at it. Until I decide I'm gonna not flop. Back again to these rotating ones. This is straightforward. Jump. And then up to here. Oh, it's a long way to go up to get to the car race. Yeah, I think it's Ah, fair enough. If you're a cat person, still perfectly valid. Yeah, that's the thing about cats. Cats are like chill. So if you've got a dog, dog temperaments can often lead themselves towards wanting attention. Or like, you know, especially if they're very active breeds of dogs. So breeds of working dogs or like dogs that just need a lot of physical exercise. And they're just like always, you know, come on, we got to go walk. We got to go do something. Got to keep me entertained. Whereas a cat, even if it's like a really active cat, may just be kind of like, yeah, I'm going to do my own thing. Although those are the ones you do have to watch out for, because it's like, man, you want to make sure that they're not destroying the local wildlife. All right. There we go. So the trick with this one here, jump on the first barrel, turn around, sprint, jump over. I think that's safer than trying to jump on the second barrel. It's just actually just jump over the first barrel. Jump onto the first barrel and then jump over the barrel wall. It's a lot safer than trying to jump on the second barrel. Okay, 1, 2. Oh, come on. Oh, that's the worst. Well, all right, back to topics of conversation. I'm so new to wake you up. Yeah, I had a dog before. Very much the temperament though of a cat. That is, the dog would kind of be like, right, is it food time? All right, then I'm over. And also, I want to know what you're eating at the table so I can maybe get some. Also, I may come up to you for a scratch. But I don't necessarily really need anything else, so don't bother me. And it would just kind of like lay in the windows and, no, sunbathe and all the rest of that. And it's like, geez, you're really not needy at all. And then the second dog we got, it's like the complete opposite. It was like always, oh yes, you're home. You're gonna love me. You're gonna pet me. You know it. So it's funny, even within breeds of dogs and cats, like they were both the same breed of dog, but just very different temperaments even there. So I think it's funny when we talk about dogs and cats, whether it's chill or being active. And it's like, oh yeah, no, that dog with that breed is like lazy as heck. So they were both Staffordshire Bull Terriers. One was a pure breed Staffy. When I say Staffordshire Bull Terriers, I'm talking more like the English. Hold on, give me a second. I'm just gonna quickly have a quick look. Yeah, I'm talking more like the English sort of Staffordshire Bull Terrier. So one was like a Staffordshire Cross. That was the first one, who was very chill. Made it. Lucky. And then the second was a Staffordshire pure breed. And that one was the very active one. And we've had both of them at the same time for a while, so it was quite an interesting dynamic. Because it was like, the senior one was the one who was chill, but it's like, yeah, no, I may be chill, but if I catch you eating my food, you're gonna get it. Oh, I got pretty lucky there. Yeah, probably the tricky part, like just briefly talking about this game, definitely the hardest part about this is like trying to balance your movement onto the little platforms. But when the platforms are larger, it's like, obviously it's easier, but just the tiny little railings are fiddly, and that's always the intentional part. Oh, they were both absolutely loving dogs. It's just they had very different ways of showing it. And And that's what I was saying. It's like one of them's almost cat-like in their mentality, but still. Oh, okay. Got very lucky there. But very much, still very much wanting to show affection when she felt like it. And then the other one was just like, oh yeah, you're here, I'm here, that's it. Time for pats, time for scratches. Until the first one comes up and goes, oi, don't overdo it. It's my turn, move out of the way. Alright, almost back up to the barrels. Oi. And then after this is the trampoline jumps into the car race. Oh, I took that one a little too aggressively. Ah, thankfully back here again. Yeah, very much an independent dog. And maybe that's the thing that sets it apart. If you want a more sort of independent animal, or if you want one who you definitely know will come up to you and be more reliant on you. Not sure why that tip keeps popping up. Not like I'm stuck anywhere. Actually, 53 minutes? Again, one of the challenges of these platformers is, and this is one that I'm not sure about. I don't know if these platformer games, if I decide to quit out now, does it just go, oh yeah, that's as far as you got, and then puts you on a new attempt? Or is it more like, I don't know if getting over it has like a somewhat recognized save point area? Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, huskies tend to do that. They're very social animals. Yeah, I think, and I could be mistaken, I don't remember if getting over it has like a sort of a save remembering thing where it remembers where you were if you quit out. So when you get back into the game, it puts you back to where you were. And I don't know if this game would do that, or if it would just treat it as a, you're back to the start, here's a new attempt, go for it. Also, it's interesting seeing sort of the lack of progress. There's that little bar next to the timer, and I think that's literally just how far you've climbed. Ah, fair enough then. Yeah, it's probably like the size of the husky, the shape of the husky. Oh, no, I'm gone again. Back again to the start. Alright, time to keep talking about huskies and other animals. Yeah, fair enough. Some dogs are kind of like that. And I don't know if that's a deliberate thing on the part of husky breeding, because some dogs are definitely the part of, like, they look the way because of breeding. Makes you feel bad for them as well. Talking, you know, what's the, like, pit bulls? Oh, feel bad for a pit bull. Or the other ones with like the sort of squashed faces. Or the smaller dogs in general. Smaller dogs have a harder time than larger dogs. It's like, the internal organs get squished up together. Yeah, which is a shame. I think that's probably why I think, like, medium to large size dogs. Medium dogs for me are like the right fit. Not so large that I can't pick them up if I need to, if they're being a menace. But not so small that I necessarily have to worry about things like, ooh, hold on. Like, hey, am I going to have to worry about serious health defects later on? Oh, come on. What was that? That trampoline bounce felt a little bit terrible. You know what? I've got... I think so far I've gotten a pretty half-decent feel for this game. Definitely the challenge would be working together. I feel like this is a game where you're either going to play with friends in like a short amount of time, maybe 2 hours or an hour before someone decides to quit, or you're playing it for like an extended period of time and you're ready to throw down and commit like 8, 10, maybe 11 or 12 hours into this thing just to get your way to the top. Yeah, it's tough as well. There's like a nature versus nurture argument as well with dogs. Some dogs have a nature which naturally leads them towards either like guarding roles or, you know, fighting roles or biffing or whatever you want to use the word. And then some part of that is definitely nurture, where it's like, are they being raised in an environment where they can go, all right, we're going to be very strict with the training and go, right, making sure that if the dog tries to do anything like that, we're on top of it and make sure the dog doesn't actually bite anyone. All right, made that. Yeah, I'm sure there's, just in regards to those triple trampoline bounces, I'm definitely sure there'd be a way to go 1, 2, 3, just constantly on the trampolines, and it's just a matter of timing. But I'm not exactly here to speedrun this game. I might just try to see if I can get up a little further than where I was before I wrap things up. But I think I've gotten a pretty good feel for this game. Yeah, it's the tricky one as well. Because it's not just the dogs that get affected, but it's everyone else who gets affected. Like, if someone's mistreating a dog and it gets out and then it, like, attacks someone or attacks another dog, that affects multiple people all at once. And then it leads to, like, other problems, because, you know, depending on what a dog does, if it's gotten loose and it's in an environment where it's running around, it could be super stressed out. It could be trained in such a way that, you know, it will attack things, or it's just like some other number of factors. But usually, if that's the case, the dog ends up pretty much worse off no matter what happens. The person or animal that gets attacked ends up pretty worse off regardless of whatever happens. And then the owners of the dog are like either one of two camps, and they're either super devastated or, well, they didn't deserve to have a dog in the first place. Which is the sad part. You always have to try and, much like people, you have to try and train animals to interact well within society. Yeah, that's going to be always a tough one as well. Especially because some people might not be doing it deliberately and then others might. And it's just like, what's your problem? Okay, made the barrel. Turn. Jump. Climb up there. Drop down the ladder. Alright, I'm going to see if I can make this jump. One, two, and then this one we go up, we go trampoline, trampoline. All right, I think, yeah, it's better than just jumping on that post. I don't even know if you're supposed to jump on that post. Maybe it's meant to be like a safety thing in case you decide not to commit, but it looks like, yeah, making use of the trampoline mechanics, avoid the post and you land on the platform. Ginger color husky. That's an unusual color. I did not expect that one. I'm just trying to get a feel while we fly up here. If you were to land on one of those platforms down here, and then you fall, if you landed on the houses and you fell down, How would you get up again? I don't think you can. I think you'd literally get stuck. I'm just gonna have a try a quick peek underneath. Platform there. Platform there. Speaking of which, almost fell down. Alright, you know what? Next time I fall down, I'll call it there. Yeah, ginger huskies I would not have expected at all. Like, I would have expected, you know, the typical black and white husky. But ginger, probably not. I'm guessing that might be like either harder. If the husky's not like a full breed husky, it could be just like a, I don't know, maybe like a recessive gene thing. I don't know. I have no idea about husky genetics. Because Ginger's and he's super large. Is he like a pure breed husky or is he like a husky cross something else? Oi, oi, car turn. Good. Alright, time to deal with the Mario cubes that run away. Yeah, next time I fall down, I think I'll call things at that point. I've gotten a pretty good idea of what this game will offer. Although I have to admit, I completely and utterly adore the aesthetic of this game. One of the biggest issues with a game with its predecessors has been a thing about consistency in theming. This game really nails the consistency aspect. It absolutely nails the consistency aspect. And that's what I love about it. As a platformer, it certainly is challenging. Don't get me wrong, this is definitely challenging. And it's challenging because you're trying to navigate these tiny little platforms and navigate the obstacles that you know are coming up. Oh yeah, I can just do this. This is the easy way. Ooh. Alright, I said it was the easy way. I'm clearly mistaken. One. Yeah, I suspect that it's probably often easier just to climb up here. And then just maybe wait for the ring to rotate around. And then you just go up there. And then from here we go up this way. Alright, back over to this. 1, 2. I think I will call it about there. Because like, hold on. Can I get out of bounds? Can I get absolutely out of bounds? Oh no. Come on. And that's the invisible wall stopping you from getting out of bounds. Alright. With that, yeah, I'll have a look up in my own time. Definitely have a look at ginger huskies. That'll be interesting. But yeah, I think that's all I probably want to actually do for this. Mechanically, this game feels pretty solid. Like the movement, like I rebound all the keys before I started, and all of the keys have worked so far. Nothing's been unusual. He's definitely a pure breed. Yeah, all the keys work fine. I like the way the game sort of is very honest with its movement. It doesn't try to deceive you with the movement of its characters. If there's an object you can grab, you can climb onto it. It's not like there's platforms without hitboxes. Everything seems to have a hitbox. And so you can theoretically climb onto anything. I'll, for example, try over here. This should theoretically, why would it have a hitbox? But it does. Nero, fair enough. And then, oh, I guess maybe the fire doesn't. But then again, they'd probably, nope, hold on. Beautiful. Yeah, I think I'll stand here on the lighting as I finish up. I guess as well, if you've got friends who you want to play this with, by all means, the aesthetics are, you know, aesthetics are one thing and it's got a really nice theming to it. Probably as you climb up, you'll see more and more of this. But it's definitely really solid in terms of look and feel. And I'm sure if you've got friends and you're willing to spend like an hour or two just blaming each other for your falling, you can have fun. Or if you're going to take this seriously and spend time to actually climb up the levels and work on timings. Because even in solo mode, by the looks of it, it does look like it generates a time. So I'm sure there'll be people speedrunning this game on solo mode already, going, how fast can we climb? But yes, I will wrap things up here. Yeah, this is typically the taste of the Monday mix. It's 1 to 2 hours at most. I think the longest I've ever gone on a Monday mix is like 2.5 hours. And that was it. That was the longest I ever went. But I really want these to be like short, bite-sized experiences of different games just to see how things work. Similar in a way to expanding one's music repertoire, this is almost like expanding one's video game repertoire. And while also acknowledging that sometimes we just don't have time to play every single game. Anyway, thank you very much for sticking around. So, I will wrap things up here. As always, if you've been watching along or you're watching after the fact, I would like to thank you very much for your time, and I do hope you have a wonderful day. And I will be on, not tomorrow, but Friday. Friday for me, which is going to be for Elden Ring. So not tomorrow,